Gibson Les Paul Standard 60s. Let's talk about it. Coming up. Gibson Les Paul Standard 60s. Let's talk about it. Before we get into it, I just want to say that this video is not sponsored by Gibson in any way. They did not send me this guitar. I bought this guitar about a year ago in 2023. So I just wanted to do a review video on what I really like about it and what I'm not crazy about. First off, the guitar looks great. Since Gibson come out of bankruptcy, this is one of their newer models in the original collection. So they do two choices. They do a 50s and a 60s. Now, the 50s is obviously modeled after the iconic 58, 59 Les Pauls, thick neck, burst buckers, different knobs. This one is obviously modeled after a 60s Les Paul, slim tapered neck, more like an SG, which I have an SG. That's kind of why I went for this. But I'm going to tell you the one thing that I wanted on this guitar that made me pick a 60s over a 50s is the pickups. The 60s have 60s burst buckers that are Alnico 5s, a little hotter. And supposedly it says on the Gibson site and any message board that you look on that these are unpotted. Now that I don't know. I have never taken them out of this guitar. I can tell you that they are hot, especially the bridge. I really like the bridge, but the thing that I use most for my style is the neck. The neck is real thick, and it gave me that Dickie Betts kind of Warren Haynes sound. Now, Warren Haynes in his signature model uses a burst bucker 2 and a 3. I'm not crazy about burst buckers, I have to be honest, but each to their own. But this 60s pickups with Alnico 5s, I was on the fence of buying aftermarket pickups, and a lot of the people that I have found that do a Dickie Betts style pickup use Alnico 5s or Alnico or however you want to say it. I'm from Chickamauga, Georgia, so I say Alnico. So that's the pickups that's in this. One other thing that they did different is the Grover tuners instead of the Kluson. And I will say that one of the negatives of this guitar, of a 60s Les Paul or a 60s Standard, is the G string sucks. I don't know why Gibson cannot figure that out. Other guitar manufacturers, Paul Reed Smith, Fender, they have figured the G string thing out. I did change strings. I use Labella vintage strings. I'll post a link to those. Again, not affiliated, not paid to say that, but those are the strings that I use. I use a 10 gauge. I have found that they stay in tune a little bit, but you have to have a lighter touch on this guitar to keep it from going out. I don't know why a G string on a Gibson Les Paul is horrible. Every one of them I've ever had is horrible. The other reason I got the Labella strings is the G string is wound on these a little different, so it does tend to stay in tune a hair better. Again, so this guitar is about 9.5 pounds. If you're looking for a chambered Les Paul, the original series is not what you want. You want to go more toward the modern series. Two-piece mahogany body. You can see the seam on the back. Two-piece maple cap. This has the double A flame top and an iced tea. The top hat knobs are different for the 60s. You can see them with these silver tops. I do top wrap. That's another video. Like I said, the Grovers, the slim taper neck, um, really great guitar. Heavy. It came down between a Heritage H150 and this guitar, and I just have to be honest. The thing that made me go with the Gibson and the 60s is I was just being bougie, and I had to have the Gibson name on the headstock. The other thing that made me leery about the Heritage was where I live, there are no Heritage dealers. Therefore, I could not go and play one. And that sounds crazy, but one thing about me when I pick guitars is I don't plug them up. Everybody says that's wild. My wife, everybody says that. I have to put my hand on the neck. Within 30 seconds, I can tell you if I like the guitar or not if I put my hand on the neck. Now, full disclosure, I did buy this guitar online from Wheel Cut Guitars in Kentucky. Not affiliated. I bought it off of Reverb. They did great. Shipping was great. But the thing that sold it was the top and this line. There's a line right over here, right there. That's what got it for me. I don't know why, but in the photo when I saw that line, I was like, all right, I like tops that have a defect in them because the guitar's unique. There's a lot of famous guitars that have that kind of thing with the top, like the Red Eye, Pearly Gates. They have something with the top. This one had that line in the top. If you're thinking about a Les Paul, and you don't mind it being about 9 pounds, if you want a fat baseball neck, you need to go with the 50s. Okay? You just need to go with the 50s. They have the fat baseball neck. The 60s is going to be an SG neck. Everybody says slim taper, blah, blah, blah. It's an SG neck. Because in 61, they went to an SG body style. They called it a Les Paul, but they went to an SG body style. So that 60s is going to be that slimmer neck. If you have a smaller hand, you're going to want that slimmer neck. The Clusons on the 50s, I haven't played one, but I've read they have the same issue with tuning stability. These Grover styles, everything, like I said, stays in tune except for the G string. I don't know why. The G string, I guess it's the break angle. I don't know. I do top wrap. You saw that. And I do the Joe Bonamassa loop over the top. There's videos on YouTube where you can find his guitar tech Mike Hickey that explains how he strings. I do that for tuning stability. I top wrap for the tension, and I figured if it's good for this guy, right, it's good for all of us because he's the one that kind of started all that. And I know there's going to be people out there that say, well, you didn't plug it up and play it. Here's the thing. Every YouTube video that I watch where people plug guitars up and they play them, they all sound the same to me. I don't care what kind of speakers you have. Unless it's a rig rundown where they're going through all these amps and all that, but the artists always sound like themselves. You watch the Joe Bonamassa, you watch the Warren Haynes, you watch anybody, they sound like themselves. So for me to sit here and plug this guitar up and play you something, it's going to sound how it sounds through your speakers. Go to a guitar store and see if you can find one and play one. But like I said, standard 60s was my choice for the pickups. The Alnico 5s, slim taper neck, non-chambered body, 9.5, close to 10 on this one. And I like the Grovers over the Clusons. So there you go. That's what I think of this guitar. Really great guitar. I've had it for a year. I have done recording sessions with it. You can hear it on there. It was a Les Paul through a Soldano. That's my gig. So there you go. And remember, like, subscribe. Let's do this thing. Go out, find yourself a guitar that you feel that speaks to you. It doesn't have to be a name brand. Guys like Joe Bonamassa are proving that all the time. This just happened to be a dream guitar for me, and it's kind of been my main thing now. So, yeah, remember, be kind to one another, be safe, and keep rocking. Till next time.